Welcome back. Here with us on Bazaar Morning Call, and we are distilling things down to all the stocks that you need to watch out for, and our research team is standing by with the list for exactly that. Guys, good morning. Thanks very much. Let's start with the big buzz around ITC in Nimesh. Morning. So it could be that we finally see British American Tobacco start selling.
Well, looks like, BAT is looking to sell 4% stake in ITC, and I understand that the block will get launched early this week. So that's the buzz in the market as well. And maybe that explains why the stock actually ended at day's low yesterday. Now, stake is what the BAT is looking to sell is worth close to 20,000 crores at current price. I was looking at the shareholding pattern. Mutual funds combined own close to 10%. 30% out of that, LIC is the largest holder, owning 15%. 8%, and the FIs own close to 13%. Just a word on the MSCI. There was a lot of speculation in regards to MSCI as well. But BAT is classified as an FDI investor, so there's going to be no big change as far as the free float is concerned. So unlikely that there's going to be any weight increase or any changes either in MSCI or in FTSE post this block deal. So my sense is this block will happen at a bit of a discount, and hence the stock actually ended yesterday at day's low.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 20,000 crores, even in a market for blocks, is not a small number, right? Stocks, of course, come off, remember, from 500 to 400 kind of levels. So it's already in anticipation of this. I mean, I think it's been under pressure for some time. So we'll see how this pans out. But interesting. BAT, by the way, owns, I think, about 29% in ITC, and they want to sell 3.5% to 4% right now. Nimesh, coming back to you for more, but let's focus on the hospital stocks now. The Health Ministry is against a one-size-fits-all approach to the proposal to standardize the cost of medical procedures across the country. This should come as a relief. My colleague Timsy's got more details. Timsy.
Well, at a time when the Supreme Court has set a deadline asking the Union Health Secretary to hold meetings with his counterparts in the state governments, union territories, and to come up with a concrete proposal within 6 weeks on capping prices of health treatments across the country, sources say that the Health Ministry is yet to start consultations even as the 6-week deadline ends on 11th of April. Sources further state that currently Health Ministry is examining the roadblocks to fixing the treatment charges at healthcare centres, and it has a view that treatment cost depends on several factors, and thus having one price across nation might be difficult. Union Health Ministry feels that the centre cannot have one fixed price cap for treatments across states, and prices can be capped probably state-wise or procedure-wise, as there are various factors involved, including the quality of medical devices involved in the treatment, and that could be an issue leading to differences in prices. Not just this, Centre is also of a view that it is tough to ensure adherence to the price cap across hospital chains, across states, and all of this comes on the back of the fact that the government is preparing a ready reckoner to note views of states, hospitals, IRDAI, etc. on fixing the treatment costs. So let's see what is the final outcome of the entire exercise, how soon there could be a concrete proposal to be submitted to the Supreme Court. That is something that we'll have to wait and watch for.
Thanks a lot for that, Timsy. Well, the Birla Group has become the first large conglomerate to convert its holding company into an operating NBFC. Aditya Birla Capital will merge Aditya Birla Finance with itself. Ritu Singh joins us to explain how this amalgamation will ensure compliance with the RBI rules. Ritu?
That's right. The board of Aditya Birla Capital has approved the amalgamation of its wholly owned subsidiary, Aditya Birla Finance, with itself, creating a large unified operating NBFC, which would then be in compliance with RBI's scale-based regulations, which require that Aditya Birla Finance get publicly listed no later than the end of September 2025. So this announcement is coming a good 18 months ahead of that deadline. But of course, this will be subject to various approvals from the NCLT, RBI, SEBI, etc. before we actually see the amalgamation happen. Now, Aditya Birla Capital is a listed entity which operates as the holding company, and within its structure, it has Aditya Birla Finance, a wholly owned subsidiary, which functions as a systemically important non-deposit taking NBFC. After the amalgamation, Aditya Birla Capital gets converted from this holding company to an operating NBFC. Now, also after this, Vishakha Mulye is going to assume the role of the MD and CEO, and Rakesh Singh will become the Executive Director and CEO NBFC of the merged entity. Now, broadly, the objective is to simplify the group structure through this move, to ensure that there is more optimal and efficient utilization of capital, and there is consolidation of business and, of course, compliance with RBI norms as well. So while Aditya Birla is going to be able to comply with the upper layer NBFC listing rules after this, the focus now actually shifts to Tata Sons, which also falls within the same category and is now understood to be weighing its options to comply with the directions without necessarily getting itself listed. Of course, the final word on the matter will rest with RBI.
Absolutely, Ritu. That's really important. I mean, all the excitement in the market around the Tata Sons listing. We saw what happened to the stocks. And for Aditya Birla Capital, I think some of the brokers are saying that now that holding company discount will reduce. So perhaps it will be seen positively by the street. Thank you for that. Let's move on now. We have Vamakshi joining in. And Vamakshi, you are watching out for KFin Tech this morning. Why is that?
Well, absolutely. I'm keeping an eye out on KFin Tech because sources are telling us that Kotak Bank is likely to sell nearly 2% stake in the company via block deals. They're looking to offload nearly 35 lakh shares, and this stake is worth almost 218 crores. A maximum discount of almost 5% is expected to be offered to the market price. So expect the supply for the shares for KFin Tech to increase, and on the back of that, expect the stock to open in the red.
Right, Vamakshi, thanks very much for that. Well, tire companies are the next cohort which should be in focus. Sudarshan is here to tell us why. So, good morning.
Morning, Prashant. So there are two news related to tire stocks. First one, positive part is government has extended countervailing duty on new and unused pneumatic radial tires till July 23-24. But that positive news might be offset by the reports related to price cut. Nomura says channel checks suggest price cut by TBR tires by rupees 500 to 800 per pair, which comes in the range of 1.5 to 2% by companies like Apollo Tires and JK. And this price cut by Apollo and JK came in response to similar price cut by the market leader MRF. And Nomura says this is the second instance of price cuts which has happened only in TBR segment. And during July to September 2023, there were 1% price cuts across TBR and TBB, that is truck, bus and bias segments.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Sudarshan. Well, let's wind this down with Upasana, who's joined to tell us about some more stocks that are in the news. Morning, Upasana.
Good morning, Nigel. First up is RVNL. The company has emerged as a L1 bidder for almost two projects worth rupees 339 crores and 47 crores. That's the reason the stock will remain in focus today, and I expect the stock to open in green. Next up is Aurobindo Pharma, the company's subsidiary APL Healthcare's formulations manufacturing facility in Andhra Pradesh gets a WHO GMP approval. That's the reason the stock would be in focus today. Next up is United Breweries. The company has launched a new brand under the name Queenfisher Premium Lager Beer in the Goa market. Next up is HIL. The company buys 100% stake in Crestia Polytech with 4 other entities for an enterprise valuation of almost 265. With this acquisition, the company aims to strengthen its pipes and fittings business in the eastern India. And lastly, PT Engineering will also be in focus today. The company signs a definitive agreement to acquire Bagadia Chaitra Industries at an enterprise value of almost 125 crores. So these are the list of stocks that I expect to remain in focus today.
Okay, all right. Got that, Upasan. Thanks very much. Guys, Queenfisher, anybody? I wonder how the men will react to it. But maybe...
I just came from Goa over the weekend. There's this lovely People's beer, which is a nice short one. It looks attractive.
It's nice.
It's lovely.
Okay, guys, Tuesday. We're veering off topic. Quickly recap of all the top stocks that we need to watch out for this morning. The ones that have positive news flow around them are hospital stocks, AB Capital, RVNL, United Breweries, HIL, Pity Engineering and Aurobindo Pharma. Stocks with negative news flow around them are ITC, KFin Tech and tire companies. Well, that's the stock list for the morning. Let's now get in a word from Manisha Gupta. She's joining in for a roundup of all the commodity market action. I don't know about commodities, Manisha. I think the only thing people are watching in the markets that you track is this Bitcoin, and Ether, and I don't know, God knows what's happening with cryptocurrencies. But over to you.
Oh, well, absolutely. Oh, yes. 72,000 now for Bitcoin. I mean, who would have thought? Because a year ago we were trading at 20,000. So it has been a very strong surge in less than a year, coming in Bitcoin, Ethereum as well at 4,000 from a 1,600 of a low in the previous year. So very, very strong gains coming in here. But it is about the dollar index, which is trading at an 8-week lows, and that is supportive for many of these other asset classes also. So not just cryptos, but gold is trading at near all-time highs. We've seen 4% of gains in a week in that one. Crude oil prices have taken support from weak US dollar as well. Apart from that, Saudi Aramco says that they will reduce supplies to Asia in April and will increase prices as well. And that in some sense seems to be weaving its way in prices. Actually, within commodities, almost everything seems to be doing well. So whether it's energy, precious metals, even the industrial metals for that matter, copper is trading at a 5-week highs. Nickel is trading at around 1-month highs. You have aluminum also trading at near 1-month highs. So it is a good going, and the street is waiting for the U.S. inflation data. Well, that comes in today.
All right, Manisha, thanks very much for that. We'll come back to you for more as we go on. We'll take a quick commercial break here. We'll come back with Amnish Agarwal, Head of Research at Prabhudas Limited, for some fundamental stock talk. And of course, we'll continue with a lot of the stock-specific discussion with him in a bit from now. Stay with us.